Okay, so Akshita, let's proceed ahead with your HR for the post of legal officer in Power Grid Corporation. So let's start with your brief introduction, Akshita.
Good evening, sir. My name is Akshita Rai. I am currently based out of Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I finished my graduation in law from National Law University, Delhi in 2021. Since then, I have been preparing for various public sector and regulatory body exams. My father is a government servant with the income tax department, so all my life I've been living in various cities of Madhya Pradesh. My mother is a housewife, and in my free time, I like to read, I like to paint, and I like to cook.
Does not look like any of the hobbies you have that of lawyer.
Sir, I don't think hobbies have to be of a
Related
specific
to profession, huh?
profession. Yes, sir. I think
Hmm.
you should have a diversity in your personality.
Yes. So when did you graduate from National Law School?
2021, sir.
21 recently. So what were you doing for the last 1 year now, Akshita?
Sir, at first I decided that I would, while I'm preparing for those exams, I would like to uh, maybe work as a legal assistant in the district and sessions court at Indore. But when
Mhm.
I moved here, courts were closed and COVID was at its peak. So I did not really take that up. So I have been preparing for exams only since I graduated.
So how do you think that this corporate law or working as a legal officer in Maharatna company, public sector is going to give you job satisfaction, or it is the profession, it is the career you want? How do you know that?
Sir, I know that because I think you can only know that once you have ruled out all your other options. And I know that I am not very interested in working in the private sector, but I definitely want to do something in corporate law. Other than that, I think apart from the whole work profile aspect, I think PSUs are one place that provide you a very healthy work environment. They are often put in all of these best places to work list. So I think in that sense, I will have both job satisfaction in terms of the work profile and work-life balance.
Mm. But Akshita, this public sector job profiles, you may not get very, high growth rate. It is a time bound growth rate, not performance based growth rate.
Definitely.
So, are you ready for such kind of career?
Yes, I think so. Growth rate, obviously, everybody is looking for growth rate, but I think it can also be measured in terms of the kind of work you do, rather than just your say your rank incentives or your monetary incentives. And I think PSUs in general are a very good place to learn the work um,
Mm.
in itself at its core, rather than go for other aspects of things.
And we have different locations where
Yes,
you are
sir.
supposed to work, and it's a transferable postings. So,
Yes,
are
sir.
you okay with going different parts of India and working
Yes,
there?
so I'm more than comfortable with it. As I said, since my father is a government servant, I have moved all my life, so that I absolutely have no problem with that, sir.
Mm. Okay, Akshita, now what do you know about the power grid?
Sir, Power Grid is a Maharatna Schedule A PSU under the Companies Act.
Mhm.
It was established in 1989, and as of right now, it is the largest player in the Indian market when it comes to the transmission of electricity. Um, Apart from that, sir, I know that it has also been featured in many lists, including the Great Place to Work list. It is also very focused on like giving opportunities to sports person and artists. Yeah, that is all I know.
Okay. Have you seen the list of board of governors, directors, and in our website? I mean,
I have,
directors
sir.
list.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Could
sir.
you find anybody from law side?
No, sir. I don't think I remember that well, sir.
So, could you find anyone at the top management level from law side?
Not that I remember, sir. No.
Okay. So, what do you think if you join Power Grid? Up to what level you will grow in Power Grid?
I think, sir, since law is not one of the key departments in Power Grid, the key departments are, your engineering and your finance, etc. I think that is why there are no like specific positions for high level management lawyers. But I also think that it is an integral part of the functioning of any organization to have a legal team. So while I don't see myself at a very high management position, I know that I will get at a good working position where I'm like handling matters
Okay,
and stuff.
Akshita. So this lawyer plays a very crucial role in any organization. We know that.
Yes, sir.
But we want to take your opinion. What do you think? How can you contribute in the growth of this organization if you join us as legal officer?
Yes, sir. So I think lawyers are very diverse people, sir. I think we have capacities to deal with all sorts of things because law touches upon everything. So I think in that sense, if Power Grid is ever in need of like legal counsel in any other field, or if they want somebody who is adept at drafting contracts, since that is a skill I'm into, then I think I can take that role very easily. And that is how I think I will contribute to the growth of Power Grid.
Have you seen our website?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you find something like what kind of profile, what kind of job activities you will be doing, roles and responsibility for you?
Sir, I think the roles, at least at the beginning of my career, if I'm given an opportunity, will be roles like legal drafting or vetting of documents, or roles that include briefing various senior counsels who are taking up Power Grid matters in courts of law about the issues that are surrounding Power Grid litigation.
Mhm. So, Akshita, many corporates, many big companies, they do not have their in-house legal department. They
Yes,
outsource this to legal
yes.
firms. Why do you think we need dedicated legal, department with us?
Sir, I think one reason would be that once you've outsourced your legal activities to someone, then there are multiple things that that person themselves is working on. And I think somebody, as a lawyer, you should have somebody who can solely focus on your organization's specific requirements. Because I think it is very easy in law to become somebody who is, say, a jack of all trades. So, having a specialized team who deals with the kind of matters that are usually a company's or an organization's profile is beneficial in that sense because then they have sort of an expertise over that area of law instead of somebody who does, say, all sorts of litigation.
Mm. So we know there are so many capable lawyers who could have easily become judges, but they don't want to become judge.
Yes, sir.
What do you think is the reason for that?
But I think it also depends on the person themselves. Like some people are more comfortable being lawyers than judges. The work profile of a judge is very different from that of a lawyer, and some people might think that they are not, uh, capable or adept enough to be somebody who can pass a judgment of law. But maybe they think that they are people who can represent parties better. I think that is the reason. While there's no problem in you being either a lawyer or a judge, I think some people just don't have that bent of mind and that sort of personality to be a judge.
Okay, Akshita, tell us something, some good two personality traits and two traits where you need to improve upon in you.
Sure, I would start off by giving good personality traits. I think I am very calm in the face of stress. So, I have always been, even in college, when there's a lot of stress upon my head, I happen to be somebody who meticulously organizes themselves, not just physically, but also mentally. I think taking off of that, I'm a very organized person, and I think that in itself helps me to be calm in the face of stress. So I think that is a trait that any lawyer or legal officer should have. Apart from that, weaknesses, I would say I happen to be somebody who does not deal very well with delegation of work or like sharing responsibilities. I happen to have a roadblock when it comes to that in my head, but I have been working on it, and I think the best way to work on it is to get involved in places which show you opportunities for teamwork. And when you work with a team, you realize you have to delegate work. So I think I've been working on that too.
Okay. Okay, Akshita, let me give you the feedback now.
Yes.
So Akshita, looks like it has the flow is okay. I mean, whatever you answered, the flow was maintained. Just give a small pause before you start answering. Sometimes what happens is like when you're in the inertia of motion. So what happens
Yes.
is when you start speaking, giving answers very fast, very fast, very fast. He keeps on throwing a very simple balls to play, and then suddenly he throws a googly at you, and you in the state of motion, that is in the state of inertia of motion, so you tend to answer even that question in that flow, and maybe sometimes you later on realize that you should have given different answer. So what I advise is like for every question you need to think and give a pause, and then that pause will help you to come out with a very good answer actually.
Okay.
And also it fixes the pace of their questioning also. If
Yes.
you increase the pace of your answers, they will increase the pace of their questions. That way it will end up very fast.
Yes.
Especially those people with good communication skills, they tend to answer in a very fast way. So
Yes.
try to avoid that and try to think the question and then give the answer. In case suppose you are caught up in some question and where you do not know what is the answer for that, how you have to answer that, in that situation you can very politely say, sir, I'm sorry sir, no idea about that. But when you say no, then your confidence should not shatter. It should not look like you're losing confidence, because in that situation they want that situation to arise. So they want to check your all aspect of your personality. They want to check that when you know something, how do you respond, how much you answer. And as executive, as a legal officer, you have to answer to the point. They
Yes.
want to see whether do you answer with certainty or you speculate. So you are not supposed to speculate. They want to see when you want to guess, when you want to speculate, you want to give your opinion knowing well that you don't know this. How do you tell that? I mean, you tell them in advance that what I'm going to say, I'm not very confident, still I want to tell you that. That thing they want to know. They want to check your honesty also, so no bluffing at all. And they also want sometimes very honest appraisal about yourself, I mean your personality. So that also they want it. Those things they want it. And if you say anything which looks like already prepared or theoretical, they don't appreciate that. Like of late what I've observed is that two things like job stability, job security, and work life balance, they have grilled people on these couple of
Yes.
words.
Yes.
Because
I was going to ask you that. Is it advisable to say that?
no, but that depends how you justify it. Because if they ask you what do you mean by work-life balance, because
Yeah.
sometimes they have last time also in some of the public sector they have said that we are sitting since morning 8 o'clock. I reached here until
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the night. I'm sitting here. What do you call? Is this a work-life balance? My
Yeah.
kid is at home and all. So वो आपको
So
they will
sometimes they
train.
also think you are being lazy कि आपको
Okay.
लग रहा है कि आप जॉब में सिर्फ आराम
Yes.
करोगे.
So they say that do you know our MD Saab, that MD Saab has a family, he's a responsibility. As you grow the ladder in the hierarchy, you have more family obligations, and but then you become more responsibilities also you are taking, and then you will not have time for your family. So
Yes.
how do you then have your this work life balance? So ऐसे क्वेश्चन वो आपसे पूछते हैं, job security, work life balance, and all these things. Maybe you can avoid these words which actually you can speak the same thing in a different way. I'm
Yes.
looking for the organization, sir. Joining the Maharatna company, public sectors give different kind of job satisfaction. When you be working for these organizations, looks like you will be working for the national development, because especially Power Grid is a company, sir, which actually is working in the domain of energy sector. And India as a developing country requires a lot of energy. And indirectly, I'll be getting that job satisfaction that I'm working for such a company. And the prestige, I belong to the family of government servant. I think you said your father is also in that.
Yes.
So I have seen the kind of job satisfaction he had in his life, sir. So
Yes.
that is, and my father is also one of my role model also. I've
Yes.
seen him working very honestly, very diligently, and that kind of job satisfaction I want, sir. तो आप उसको थोड़ा सा वाइड कर सकते हैं उन वर्ड्स को जो मैंने आपको बताया. रेस्ट इज ओके. एंड आप वेबसाइट को थोड़ा थॉरोली गो थ्रू करना उनकी वेबसाइट को, and then they might ask you questions from here and there. We will also ask you the same kind of things in the next. मेरे ख्याल से कुछ